People don't always understand the value of respect until it's no longer offered to them. It's easy to take someone for granted when they're always there, when they're always showing up, when they're constantly putting your needs ahead of their own. In the beginning, people might appreciate your presence and what you do, but over time, they grow used to it. They expect it. It becomes the norm, and the extraordinary becomes ordinary. They don't have to ask for your time, your energy, or your commitment. It's simply there for them, no questions asked. This is where the danger lies. When something is always available, it starts to lose its value. It becomes just another part of the landscape, and people stop recognizing how much it means. But here's the thing. The moment you remove yourself from that dynamic, when you step back and stop giving so freely, everything changes. You suddenly become rare, and rarity is valuable. Absence forces people to face the void you leave behind, and in that space, they are forced to reflect on what they had and took for granted. Your presence was never as ordinary as they thought. It was a privilege. And when they realize that, they might start to regret the way they treated you. There's power in stepping away. There's power in choosing yourself. It's not about running away from conflict or refusing to communicate. It's about realizing that you don't need to fight for someone's attention or affection. You don't need to beg for their respect. It comes naturally when you understand your worth. The absence of your presence, the space you create, speaks louder than any words you could say. It's not about anger or resentment. It's about clarity. You're not trying to punish anyone. You're simply choosing to value yourself more than you've allowed others to value you. Robert Greene touches on this idea in the 48 Laws of Power, where he explains that absence creates respect and honor. When you're always available, when you're always the one giving, you lose your power. People begin to take you for granted, and they start assuming you'll always be there. But when you create that space, when you step back and let them feel the loss, that's when they realize what they had, and more importantly, what they could lose. People often fail to recognize the worth of something until it's no longer at their fingertips. Your absence isn't just physical. It's a reminder of the energy, love, and care you once freely gave. A gift they may have underestimated. This doesn't mean you have to create drama. You don't have to scream, yell, or fight for people to see your value. You can simply walk away. You can simply stop giving your energy to situations, to relationships, or to people that aren't appreciating you. And here's the thing. When you do that, when you pull back, you're sending a message. You're not screaming, you're not demanding, you're just saying, I know my worth. I know what I deserve. The truth is, people don't always understand what they have until it's gone. And sometimes, they won't even realize the weight of their actions until they see that there are consequences for treating someone poorly. But here's where it gets interesting. People rarely change when you're constantly forgiving them, constantly available, constantly accommodating. They only start to shift when they see that you've chosen to walk away. They only begin to respect you when they see that you're not afraid to stand firm in your boundaries. Greene writes, when you become too predictable or too easily available, you become invisible. The more you give, the more you lose. Think about it like this. People who take others for granted usually do so because they feel like there are no consequences to their actions. If you're always there to clean up the mess, they never learn to clean up after themselves. If you're always available, they start to believe you'll always be available. They begin to lose sight of how precious your time, your energy, and your love truly are. But when you stop showing up the way you always have, when you give them the space to understand what it feels like without you, that's when the game changes. That's when they start to ask themselves, what did I do to lose them? Why didn't I appreciate them when I had the chance? And in that moment, when they're left alone to face the consequences of their actions, that's when they truly start to learn the value of your presence. This isn't about playing games. This isn't about punishing anyone. It's simply about recognizing that you don't need to be a doormat for anyone. You don't need to bend over backwards, constantly showing up and constantly giving, without ever receiving the same in return. You don't need to teach people how to treat you by overextending yourself. They should already know that respect is the foundation of every healthy relationship. But we've all been there, haven't we? Giving and giving, trying to make things work, trying to prove our value through actions, through constant sacrifice. But the moment you stop sacrificing, the moment you stop proving, is the moment that some people will start to take notice. Not because you've said anything, but because they've realized what they've lost in your absence. In the end, it's not about them. It's about you. It's about you taking control of your life, your choices, and your peace. It's about showing yourself the respect you deserve. Because when you start to show up for yourself in a way that others can't ignore, you send a loud message. A message that says, I am worthy of respect. I am worthy of love. I am worthy of being treated well. And when you walk away, when you pull your energy from someone who no longer deserves it, you give them the chance to realize that. You give them the opportunity to see the void you left behind and the impact you had on their life. You're not doing it out of malice. You're doing it out of self-respect. You're showing them that you can exist without them, that your happiness isn't dependent on their validation or approval. This is where the real power lies. In walking away without guilt. In choosing yourself without hesitation. It's about saying, I've given enough. Now, I'm going to give to myself. And the moment you start to give to yourself, the moment you start to prioritize your own well-being, you begin to attract the people who will treat you the way you deserve to be treated. You start to draw on the respect you've always wanted because you've learned to respect yourself first. It's like this. People don't appreciate what they have until it's no longer there. But when you choose to leave, when you choose to create that absence, you make them face the reality of their actions. And some will regret it. Some will finally see the truth, and others will just continue on with their lives, not even realizing what they lost. But that's not your concern. Your concern is you. Your concern is your happiness, your peace, and your boundaries. When you stop accepting disrespect, when you stop tolerating things that hurt you, you give people the chance to either step up or fall away. You give them the opportunity to realize what they've lost and to either grow from it or remain stuck in their ways. The truth is, you are never obligated to teach someone how to respect you. You shouldn't have to remind them over and over. If someone truly values you, they'll treat you with respect without needing constant reinforcement. And when you pull away, when you stop giving, you're not being cruel. You're just being honest. You're showing them that you won't settle for anything less than the respect you deserve. And while they might not appreciate it in the moment, they will eventually. They will eventually realize that the absence of your presence is the consequence of their actions, and it will leave them wondering how they let you slip away. So, remember this. You don't have to beg for respect. You don't have to demand it. You don't have to fight for it. Sometimes, all it takes is walking away and letting them experience the void that you leave. Let them feel the impact of your absence, because that's when they'll truly realize what they lost, and it will be too late. If you found this video helpful and empowering, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on new content. And make sure to turn on the notification bell so you're always the first to know when a new video drops. Your support means a lot, and it helps me keep bringing you more powerful insights. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.